Welcome to Draw One Last Breath Horror Podcast. My name's Matt.
I'm Butch.
I'm Jody Paul.
Welcome to episode 136. On this episode, we have been to the cinema to see The Meg 2, The Trench. And also, in our movie from the vault, we will be doing 1988's The Blob. How the devil are you, boys?
Hey, Lola. No, I'm good, man. So I think we've got a little bit of apology to make to the listeners and stuff. Our next couple of weeks is going to be a bit fucking mental, all right? Getting ready for a wedding, trying to ram in doing this bits. So we're trying not to, drop the amazing top-notch quality podcast that we produce. But there may be a little bit of dropping. Hope you don't notice it too much over the next couple of weeks. Do apologise for getting married.
How dare you?
I don't apologise for getting married. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I'm good. Wedding shit. But I still managed to ram some stuff in. I got a lovely 8 blockbuster movies. I'm not sure they're blockbusters. From a local, producer of HMV stuff. And yeah, I watched one of the 88 films that I got, thanks to you, Matt. Robot Tricks is the first one I watched. Robot Tricks. Robot Tricks.
Yeah.
From 1991. Woo-hoo! What a fucking amazing movie. I mean, seriously, this had like everything in it. It was just like 80s cheese mixed with that sort of 90s, I don't know, but it's just like 3 hot Asian women who 2 of them are fucking androids, and they go around trying to lure another android in by becoming prostitutes for a little while. So there you go. And the android is not a nice man, or not a nice android man, and he is only interested in big-titted women, and he fucks them really, really bad and throws them out of windows.
Sounds amazing. How many Oscars did it win?
Mate, honestly, I absolutely love this one. I thought it was fantastic. It was so batshit. I can't wait to watch more. I mean, some of the ones you that I've got to watch. I mean, what was one called Ebola something? Ebola syndrome looks fucking awful, but yeah, it's good. I rewatched Tusk, Kevin Smith's movie. Watched it with the girls. They were
not really a family movie, is it?
No, they were freaked out. They were really disturbed by the walrus. I was like, yes, it's actually a really disturbing movie when you come to it. It's a really good movie. I recommend everyone to go and rewatch Tusk and not tell me it's a good movie. Fucking loved it. I also watched a movie from Fright Fest last year, which we talked about, I think, recently, called Lola. Hence me singing my little song earlier.
Is that a time traveling kind of one?
Yeah. It's black and white. 2 girls set in like just before or just during the Second World War. They discover the ability to be able to see into the future through this like thing called Lola, and they end up trying to inadvertently help and cause the ripples and stuff through time that do not go very well for them. Fucking, it really is a interesting sort of look at what happens when you mess with time, especially around that period. I recommend, and it's free to watch on Amazon Prime at the moment, so I'd recommend definitely go and watch that film. It's
Amazon
fantastic.
Prime?
Yeah, Amazon Prime it's on.
Oh, wicked.
Really, really good. Honestly, Matt, if you guys, like the French movie that we watched, The Visitor from the Future, it's not got the same level of humor. It's slightly more serious, but it's fun. It's a really, really good, put together movie.
It's on my watch list on my letterbox. So I'm definitely going to watch that.
Yeah, I remember there was a bit of buzz around it because obviously we'd picked something else to go and see, and I remember like hearing people saying that Lola was really good. So yeah, no, definitely if it's on Prime, I'll give it a shout.
Yeah, we were at a little secret screener, weren't we, Butch? And we got recommended, by one of the people that was a screener actually when we got talking to them.
Yeah. So there we go. I've managed to watch a few. So cool. There we go. What about you guys? What have you been up to?
Go on, Geordie Paul. Tell us about your trip. You went somewhere special, didn't you?
Oh yeah, so obviously last podcast I appeared from France, but then then a few days later I went to Disneyland.
Was it your Make-A-Wish?
That was it, yeah, Make-A-Wish. Make a wish. Remember, I'm your carer, Matt, not the other way around.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so yeah, that was amazing. Jesus, the kids loved it, and yeah, the big kid loved it. So yeah, it was brilliant. I managed to get in an argument with a First Order Stormtrooper, which was always nice. Yeah, so that was cool.
Why?
Because he didn't like the fact I said up the resistance. Then I tried to Jedi mind trick him, but he wasn't playing along, which I thought was a bit disappointed by. But yeah, no, it was good. And then met Spider-Man, Le French Spider-Man, which was always fun. But yeah, no, it was amazing. And look, just it's Disneyland, isn't it? So yeah, but it's obviously caused me to have a bit of a backlog in watching stuff, so I didn't really get a ton of stuff watched, but did manage a couple of things. So I watched Paranormal Activity 2 the other night because it was just on. And there's people who don't like it, but I think it's really good. I think it's definitely a worthy sequel. And it's still got one of the best jump scares ever created.
Oh, is that which bit's that? Is that the kitchen bit or the
daylight one? It's so good. And I just thought it was really, really creepy, really quite violent, and yeah, no, I really liked it. And I think anytime you put kids into the mix, they're in jeopardy. Yeah, no, it was good. So I enjoyed that. And then the only other thing I managed to watch, I sort of got into this stuff. It's been on my Netflix list for a while. It's like a little limited series called The Devil in Ohio.
Yeah, I got through most of that. I didn't finish it. So did you finish it?
I did finish it, but it was quite attritional by the end. I saw it started really good. I thought, we're onto something. Then the middle just sagged, and then the end was a bit shit. And I thought it was going to be more horror than it was, really, to be honest. There wasn't a ton of. It was more sort of creepy, culty type of stuff than actual proper horror. So yeah, no, it became a bit sort of teeny, if that makes sense. Like, and I thought it was going to be a bit more adult than it was. So yeah, it's all right. I sort of letterboxed it for about 5 out of 10. So it was okay, past the time. But yeah, and that was it really, guys. I didn't really watch anything else.
I watched a couple of bits. I watched a movie called They Cloned Tyrone.
I started this and then I realised that I might enjoy it, so I needed to concentrate. So I left it.
What? Yeah, it's got John Boyega in it, Jamie Foxx, and it's all right. It's kind of weird. It's really strange. It's a very different film than I was expecting. And there's actually some really, really funny parts. Not really horror. It dabbles in a bit of, I'd say, more sci-fi stuff than horror. But there's definitely a few horror elements to it. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. And also I picked up a copy from Second Sight of Frontiers from 2007. Ooh. Got re-released.
I saw you watch that. I still haven't watched it, you know.
Oh, mate, I've never seen it.
It's a messed up movie. It's one of those messed up kind of along the same lines as kind of like Martyrs and all that sort of stuff. It's like, what was the other one? The French one. Oh, how can I forget these things right now?
Insides, which
Insides, yeah, and stuff like that. It's all along the same kind of lines as that. And it's got some really good effects in it. But I got a beautiful Blu-ray of it from Second Sight, and it's really nice. Looks really good. So I watched that. That was cool. But yeah, that's all I managed to do. But I watched it a long time ago. But just breaking it out again reminded me how much blood was involved in this movie. So much blood. It was crazy. Shall we move on to some news? Anybody got any news?
I know there's some sad news we might have to talk about in a bit, but I got some bits. There's some exciting stuff coming down the boot. Street Trash, which we've reviewed on the pod, is looking for the reboot with the director from Fried Barry. So anyone that can fucking put some more nonsense to that movie has got to be the director from Fried Barry, because that was fucking crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Street Trash. I mean, we liked it, man, didn't we? It was just fucking.
Yeah, it was just mental.
Yeah, and the inevitable that we discussed last episode already Talk to Me has done about 31 million. I think that's like a lot of profit. That's about 26 million or 27 million profit for the lads. Talk to Me 2 A24 has ordered the sequel already. So there we go. It was
not sure how I feel about that. Have you seen the special edition DVD?
With all
Yeah,
the bits and bobs and the hand.
Steelbook.
Yeah, you got a hand and markers to colour in your own hand.
Cool. Really? I haven't
Yeah.
seen that. Where's that?
I don't know. It might be a US thing, mate, but I caught it. I saw a sort of screenshot of it the other day.
I know A24 are actually selling the hand. It'll probably be about 150 to 200 quid or something stupid. It'll sell out in 2 seconds, but I'll just go on Etsy and buy one for like literally nothing.
I might just 3D print one.
Yeah. Do your own hand.
Yeah. And I've seen a rather fetching poster of the Toxic Avenger. The sort of thing that's coming from Macon Blair with Dinklage, Tremblay, you know, a whole host of fucking actors in it. But have you seen the poster?
No.
If not, I really should have sent you this.
Yeah, maybe you should have.
Oh, it's pretty cool. I like all the minimalist stuff.
Oh, actually,
I saw a still.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It just looks pretty cool. But that's all the news I have.
Well, I only have just one more extra bit because I was going to talk about Toxic Avenger, but good news. Prey has got a physical release coming out.
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
October, so it's going to be available on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, which fair play. To be honest, it's obviously done really well on stream and enough to get them to push it out. So yeah, I think I will be purchasing that because I think there's a nice little steelbook coming. So yeah, so good news on that one.
Very good news. I posted that on our TikTok to get it out there because some eyes need to watch that. You know, not everybody's got Disney Plus, so it's good that it's coming out physical release, and it does look pretty cool. And then finalize the artwork, but hopefully it'll be really, really good. I haven't got a lot of news, but have you guys seen the trailer for The Haunting of the Queen Mary? Looks pretty cool.
No.
Have you seen that trailer? Well, if you checked out our TikTok, you would have seen the trailer. That's good, isn't it? From our very own Draw One Last Breath team.
I have seen it. I did watch it on TikTok. I was just trying to, trigger you.
Yeah, well, that
trailer, I've not seen it, Matt. Apologies.
that trailer looks really, really good, to be honest. It looks quite crazy. So yeah, that's good. Have we talked about the Book of Monsters trailer coming out yet?
No, we haven't. Worth talking about.
We definitely need to talk about this one. We are going to go and watch
How to Kill Monsters.
How to Kill Monsters.
By Stuart Sparks, starring Lindsay Crane and all the crew that were in, pretty much Book of Monsters that we watched a couple of years ago, that we're back in for Kickstarter. Looks incredible. Looks fun. Looks gory. Looks messy. Looks practical effects. Looks
like more blood, more gore, more money. Looks like it's going to be a good laugh.
Yeah, we're going
to get to watch it at Fright Fest.
Yeah, we're going to Fright Fest on the Friday. We're going to go and get to watch that, so I can't bloody wait. There's a couple of little bits. Alleycat Graphics, we got to thank Jon for coming up on our last episode. He did mention there was something coming down the pipe. Oh my god, that is one shiny fucking Terminator pin. That's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
A very nice pin. He's outdone himself yet again.
Alleycatgraphics.com. Go and buy this bad boy. Fucking T1800, man. Woohoo! We talking about any sad news? Really freaking.
The legend
has passed. I mean, obviously it was one of the scariest movies ever made, and in the scariest way by the sounds of things. One hell of a director. Will sadly be missed. Hope his eyes we never got him. So
I actually went and ordered a film that I've always wanted to watch called The Sorcerer, which I've never seen, and it looks awesome. And I've seen trailers of it, and I've always been told that the soundtrack's amazing and the film's amazing. So I just went and ordered it because I thought I really, really want to watch it. So I ordered it, and I can't wait to watch that. That should be good. I've got one last bit of kind of newsy kind of thing. It's about a TikTok guy I follow on TikTok called Ricky, and he is really got a really cool kind of TikTok page or whatever. He does TikToks, but they're like really in depth and really cool. So he does like movie reviews. He recommends really cool stuff. He's called, if you go to @Ricky666, he's on TikTok, and he just starts off like with kind of a blurb about what he's talking about. And he always starts off with, "My name's Ricky and I love horror." And then he goes into it, and he talks about some really, really interesting stuff. He completely knows his horror. We're definitely going to have him on the podcast soon. So I've been hitting him up on Messenger. But you should go and check out his page, because he's just all over it. He's got like 206,000 followers, man. He's got loads of followers. I don't know how he does it, but I do know how he does it. He has brilliant content, and that's engaging, that's definitely worth watching. And I think the thing is with TikTok, you can skim past a lot of stuff, but when you go to his page, it's like, or his videos, it's engaging, so it makes you watch the whole thing, because it's interesting what he says and how he dives deep into it. It's really cool. He's on YouTube as well, and Instagram. Go check him out, Ricky666. Definitely worth a check out, and hopefully we'll have him on the pod soon. Okay, should we get on with our main review?
I want to go to mile 1 with you. I want to dive the trench.
No.
Why not? Saying it's too dangerous.
Too dangerous for you. Checking out 2 lines of tank pressure. Me? You gotta be kidding me.
I see that you're angry, but I believe that this is a reasonable and responsible decision.
Let's explore.
I'm almost diving all the time at my age.
Up to 25,000 feet.
You need to start taking me seriously as a scientist.
You're 40.
Exactly.
Again, it's not gonna work.
After you.
All right, this episode's main review is Meg 2: The Trench. Jason Statham again, beating up sharks and octopuses. A research team encounters multiple threats while exploring the depths of the ocean, including a malevolent mining operation. Sounds really, really good, doesn't it? Oh my God. I mean, I am a big fan of shark exploitation movies. Love him. What did we just watch? Half a fucking movie about eco fucking this and that. I mean, what the fuck? There's already a fuck. There's, they've got a baby shark, a baby Meg in captivity. And I don't know, like they go back down and more shit happens and more sharks come up and other shit comes up and there's already people. This is like some kind of, I don't know, what did it remind me of? Like half the movie was like about
Underwater, it reminded me of.
Sabotage, sort of like a 80s or 90s sort of Double Impact or something like that. Like, this was
Impact.
I don't know. This felt like the most sci-fi movie, like that, like a proper like Sharknado.
Do you remember that film Underwater we watched?
Yeah,
I thought it was very like that. Very like that. Like you have to walk. They had to walk from somewhere to get somewhere, and they stopped at a station. It was like beat for beat. Underwater.
Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. Right, I bought that DVD. I love that movie. This was basically Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. With a lot more money, like £100 million they spent on this movie, 100 million, and they had one of the best directors at the helm. So, what happened? I mean, how is this a Ben Wheatley movie?
I'll tell you why.
Not a Ben movie, is it?
Yeah, it's not. It's basically Ben Wheatley going, yeah, I'll do that, and then he's done it, and it'll make bank, and he'll do whatever the fuck he wants after that.
And it's made bank. It's made bank. But well, on reflection, I mean, I think it's like nearing 200 million.
Because the audiences it reaches, like in China, is unbelievable cash. Like they just will always make money. It's like Transformers is the same. It will always make a lot of money.
I
So,
love this. This is not Jaws 2, is it? This is more like Jaws 4.
not Jaws 3. It's not Jaws 4. It's not Jaws 5, 6, 7, or 8, or 9. It's not even Jaws 10.
It's six-headed.
It's more like Deep Blue Sea 5.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
go with that.
Six-headed sharks.
Guys, I hated this film. And there's not a lot of time. It's not just going like, oh, it was shit. I actually hated it. It spent ages getting to where it wanted to go. There was, for a film called The Meg, there was hardly any bloody sharks in it. Just stupid ideas. I mean, look, the first one was just daft, yeah, but it had a certain charm to it, yeah, and it was daft. And this one, just devoid of any charm. It wasn't funny. It was just the characters were shit. Jason Statham was. I know he hasn't got the biggest acting range anyway, but he was just dialing it in. I thought the CG was a bit wanky. The size of the sharks changed depending on what they were doing. If you didn't notice that one, they made this big deal about a fucking massive megalodon, but never went anywhere with it.
Preach!
Just most of the set piece at the end as well was on land with the bloody other dinosaur things, and I was like, "Where's the fucking Meg?" And then I was like, "Well, hang on. Obviously, you've set up this massive octopus to come out. The octopus was always in it. Oh my god, shit." Sorry, and do you know what? I don't know. My expectations were very, very low. I was kind of hoping there would be some Ben Wheatley moments in it where something was balls. Because the Trench, I thought, oh my god, it's going to go absolute balls to the wall, just craziness, absolute just mental craziness, and it just didn't. It just.
I would have loved it if they just stayed in the underneath the bloody cloud, except the fact that we're watching a movie about water, and just watch some fucking like Megs just like fight some other shit, or stalking them, have some good terror and stuff. But like even the bits when they tried to create a bit of horror when they were walking along it, I was just Matt, what did you think? What did you? Have you got anything positive to say about it?
Do you know what?
I loved it.
Paul's gonna give it a 10. I know he is.
It took a while to get into it, because it was almost like watching fucking, I don't know, like fucking Crank or Transport right at the start. We need loads of martial arts kind of fucking fighting shit. But once they started descending down to the trench, what I would imagine is supposed to be the Mariana Trench, maybe, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, deep down. And then they go through a magic kind of like where it
thermal cloud.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Cloud. No.
Is this real?
Is that not real?
Okay. So then they go through that, and I mean, there's a lot of not real things in this. Like at one point, Jason Statham turns into a fish, and is able to swim around that low down in the sea, which I don't think would be possible.
No, he would. Is basically at that pressure, his body would just squeeze in on itself. There is no. Basically, get the amount of oxygen right in your body, and you'd be grand. Bollocks. Now, but again, though, like you're not watching it for science, are you? But I just thought there's lots of unnecessary shit like that going. Don't try and explain yourself.
Even the start led us to what we were going to go down. Like a fucking. A T-Rex on the beach. I was like, go in. Where's the depth of the? I mean, the fucking Meg is massive. The Meg is fucking huge. How can it get that close to a shoreline? That's what I don't understand. That's my. I mean, okay. Oh.
I mean, again, it screams how bad the film is that you start to question the science of the megalodon.
Well, it's because there's not. I watched Six-Headed Sharks, and that was fucking a shark with 6 heads crawling along the beach like a couple of weeks ago. So that's fine, I suppose. Suspend your disbelief. But the first one, they kind of was in slight reality-ish, and this one they just went, meh.
But like, did
historic sharks
big enough? Like I thought, like. The whole setup of it was just preposterous. The whole, by the way, we caught a Meg. Because apparently you can just pick Megs up now.
and tame, and, train them.
And train them, which was, again, just stupid. It went a bit like Jurassic Park-y, Deep Blue Sea. Then like they fuck off to go to this underwater expedition, and then for whatever reason the Meg decides, do you know what? I'm gonna break out now, and I'm gonna follow it. But there was no like, well, they could have broke out any time I wanted, and now I'm gonna find yous, even though I don't know where the hell yous have gone.
Personally, I think it would have been better if they'd opened on the fact that they'd found this baby Meg and they were trying to catch it, and it killed a few people. Like, they could have opened with something really cool that it attacks a load of people, and then they catch it, and then it could have gone to, you know, rather than having all that MacGuffins of like Jason Statham, like literally just being a freedom fighter now. Apparently he's like fucking, you know, fucking saving the seas all by himself. And they could have done that. It would have been a bit more engaging. At least we would have had a couple of kills beforehand.
Well, I just don't understand. What, like, they could have opened this thermal. They could have just done it in the first 5 minutes, or we mined things and we opened this thermocline, which made all sorts of shit pour out of it. And then how interesting would it be that actually there's loads of fucking Megs down there. They've all come out, right? And now nobody can go in the fucking water ever again, because basically anytime you go into the water, you can just get eaten by a massive shark. And then you start to go on, you can do something interesting then about going, fuck, we can't fish, we can't do anything. Like, you can't travel, boats can't go on the fucking, like, all the world's going to come to a standstill unless we take out all the Megs. And there's this worldwide plan to take out all the fucking Megs. That would have been better. And you could have done anything you wanted.
Yeah, they could have put like lasers on dolphins and stuff like that.
That's the next move.
That's the thing on that, right? They could have done all that, and you'd have just sat there going, "Well, this is bonkers," but you love it. But they just decided to fucking.
How long was it? I mean,
2 hours long.
Major spoilers here, but how long was it till they actually got out of that trench? Because there's a lot of time spent down there.
That was half. That was about an hour and 10. There's a lot of time spent underneath the fucking thermal cloud for walking along and getting. I mean, that was maybe the best part, but it was a different movie. I wanted to see sharks, and there was no reason why they were going after Jason Statham on a fucking jet ski. You know, that was very Jaws 4. You know, somehow he's the one that they're homing him in on. All right, that seems very personal. Where the fucking octopus suddenly came from and started attacking people, fuck knows. And also those fucking like massive conger eel things that were attacking them just magically grew legs and then started walking on land and being able to breathe on land. They sort of alluded
what the fuck
to that.
was that?
They look. They
start, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
it was on the start. It's like, how are they just like suddenly turning high? I just don't get it. It's just.
Why
were they under the sea? Why weren't they on land?
They needed some action on the land. Oh,
exactly. And it just and then like the characters were just really like it was just not funny.
They even copied like
they were lame.
Like amazing. They stole the Deep Blue Sea moment from like the Samuel L. Jackson sort of speech. They stole that amazing moment as well. The whole sabotage and like, oh, but we're gonna find these minerals from down there. That was like, what the fucking hell? They're worth billions. This little bit. I'm like, fuck off. I've got
to say as well, there's a bad guy in the movie that has the best stamina I've ever seen in my life, who gets literally smashed over the head about 6 times and still survives. Oh no, first of all, he crashes his like little pod, manages to fix it, manages to get to the station, then gets beat the fuck out of by Jason Statham, and then still manages to get in a suit and get to the top of the water, and then magically disappear off of the whatever it is on top of the water, like the station on top of the water, magically, after they've taken all the boats, magically appears on shore. So how did he make it there?
But it's okay. He falls prey to the psycho connection between one of the psychic link that one of the Megs has with Jason Statham. So when he kicks him off a jetty, the shark appears and eats him. as if they planned it all along. It's just, again, guys, I was fully expecting just like to suspend any disbelief and to go in like, look, lowball this film because it's going to be stupid. But for me, it just wasn't stupid enough. Do you know what I mean? It didn't go balls deep. It just was like, oh, this is shit. It's just boring. And how the hell can you make a film about a massive shark, like 3 massive sharks? Boring. It's just like,
and they really shoehorned tried to get a lot of comedic stuff in it. Like there was the guy on the rig that had a bag of tricks. Like obviously he had like a taser and a gun, and then they did the reference to Jaws 2, wasn't it? With the Jaws, poison bullets. And then it just turned into kind of like a buddy cop thing for about half an hour between 2 guys trying to make a kind of subplot. And then there was like even more shenanigans on the island. It's like they just kept buddying them up and trying to make it funny, but it just wasn't. It was just really.
It was subplot after subplot after subplot, Matt. That's the thing. I know, right? It lost its way. It lost its motive, and you know.
And Jason Statham didn't even punch a shark in the face.
Didn't even do a kick to his face.
No, but I mean, he managed his legs managed to keep open a shark's jaws quite well, didn't they?
Yeah.
But he must have been doing calf day that day, so to withstand like 2 tons of pressure biting down on you. Oh, I'll keep your mouth in my. Well, that's why I was talking about the shark changing size, because the shark is massive until it's actually trying to bite Jason Statham in half, and
yeah. There was a couple of bits I liked about this. 2 things. I really liked the pressure mask kill, where the girl's like mask just blew inwards.
Yeah,
I did like that, but do you not think it could have been a bit more bloody?
Well, they're trying to keep it a bit 15, aren't they? And then I really did quite like the inside shot of the shark's mouth when it's eating all the people.
I really like that.
Yeah,
but they didn't do enough of it.
No, there wasn't enough death. He did munch through quite a lot of the, when the Meg sort of did start munching through, because he didn't really do that in the first movie, and I was like, there's a missed opportunity there. So they kind of did a bit of it, and but not enough.
It was almost like the same premise as the first movie, though. It's like that whole fun island was just the same as the first one. Even to the point where the little dog, is it the same little dog or is it a different little dog?
It's the same dog, right?
Is that
same dog?
Yeah. It's just like regurgitating old shit. And the little girl in it that clearly looks about 26 when she's playing a 15-year-old, she was wet as a fish.
Same actress.
It's the same girl, yeah. It's the same girl.
Right. But she was, it figures that she obviously didn't take any acting lessons because she was terrible. There were not very many good actors in this. I know it's not. I know you're not going to the Meg to see a plethora of, screen and stage actors or whatever. But crying out loud, make it a bit like, I don't know.
You can still have a bit of chemistry though, mate. There's not like I said, I've referenced Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea is one of the cheesiest films ever fucking made, but brilliant.
I did hear an interview with Ben Wheatley he did for Empire, and it was quite funny. He was like saying about Jason Statham, like literally just went get the jet ski out, and he got on the jet ski, and literally he was out there for about 3 hours just doing batshit crazy stuff on the jet ski while they filmed him. And he literally was out there for ages, and he was like, "Oh my god, I hope he's insured, man, because the shit he was doing was crazy." And hats off to him for doing that, because that's quite funny. But, not enough for me. That's for sure.
I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
Should we rate it?
Meg's number 1 fan is not impressed.
2.
Oh wow.
2 because CGI was alright. Yeah,
I'm going to give it a 2 as well, Paul. I just thought it was a thoroughly unlikable film.
I kind of knew what it was going to be, and I kind of went in with that mentality. I was quite entertained as they were underneath the water and like all the creatures and stuff, and then it just went downhill as soon as they went up. to the surface, it started to go down in my expectations every minute that was going on. I was just like, it's worse and worse. So I'd probably say more of a kind of 4 out of 10 for me. I'm not as down, but it's not the worst movie I've ever seen.
Nah, I mean, after discussion, I wasn't wholly disappointed. I know that I was in the cinema and I was sat in front of 3 or 4 gents who were like whooping and talking and actually being very American during the movie and sort of just like really, really into it. And just, those bits, they were like, fuck off, So it did have a reaction for 4 people in the cinema. So I'm still not giving it a 4 out of 10 just for those 4 chaps. But yeah, there were some definitely 4 people out of the full cinema that I watched that very much did enjoy that one. And I wasn't mad at them because they weren't talking and chatting amongst themselves. They were talking about the movie.
I wouldn't have it. But anyway, when I went, it was really weird. I went to an 11:20 showing in the morning on a Saturday. And there was loads of people in there. There was like a whole family. There was like obviously husband and wife with 2 kids that were probably about 9 and 6, and they were watching it. And there was a couple of families in there. I was really surprised, but yeah, I didn't hear no cheering and whooping. That's for sure.
I mean, so I went with Soph and Izzy went as well. She absolutely loved it. So it's done 265 million. So it's in the top 20 so far of the year. So that's about 100. I think it's 100 million budget they had.
Well, we're the same to do with Meg 3 then, won't we?
Yeah, there'll be a Meg 3. Of course there will. This is like, Sharknado with money, with studio backing, and they keep doing it because that, like Matt says, the sort of Chinese market absolutely fucking loving this.
The other thing I'm just going to touch on, the last thing, is that I got really, really big Fast and Furious vibes at the end. Like they're trying to make this team of really cool, kind of quirky difference in this team at the end. And I was just like, nah, not working for me, mate. But there you go.
Cool. So that's a draw on last breath. Meg the Trench. 2, 3, 10 out of 10, whatever. Right, moving on to our next review, where we're going to cinema to watch hopefully a very comedic, scary, entertaining horror called The Blackening. Very looking forward to that. So there we go. Lots to discuss. Now let's move on to our movie from the vault.
If it had a mind, you could reason with it. If it had a body, you could shoot it. If it had a heart, you could kill it. Now, man is no longer the supreme being on this planet.
The organism is growing at a geometric rate. By all accounts, it's at least 1,000 times its original mass.
Nobody believes me about what happened tonight.
What did happen?
You were there, you saw.
Plasmic life form that hunts its prey. Predator.
I want that organism alive.
I think you ticked it off.
The Blob. Terror has no shape.
Okay, so last week we had John, our good friend from Alleycat Graphics, and it was his pick. So he picked 1988's The Blob. So it's a remake of 1968's film starring Steve McQueen. Quick synopsis: a deadly entity from space crash lands near a small town and begins consuming everyone in its path. Panic ensues as the shady government scientists try to contain the horrific creature. So, how have I never seen this film?
Fuck knows, mate. It's a banger.
I've seen the Steve McQueen one. I remember that vividly, but this one, I don't know why this escaped me. It's fucking fantastic.
So I've seen the Steve McQueen one, and I actually quite enjoyed the Steve McQueen one. I thought it was like very, very well done and very creepy, considering of its time and of the effects. But guys, I've got to say, I was very, very pleasantly surprised with this one. I really enjoyed it.
Mate, I'm with you. You know, directed by Chuck Russell. Frank Darabont was involved in this. It's got Kevin Dillon. Oh my God, Kevin Dillon. I absolutely love him. And Shawnee Smith from Saw, which was pretty fucking cool. Yeah, man, this was fucking great. I had some great death moments, a great sort of linear storyline, some surprising deaths as well, some characters I did not see fucking going in the way they went, and I was like whooping, applauding. There was some fucking proper cool, gory moments in this as well. Yeah, the Blob. What a fucking great idea. Loved it. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously seen this before. It would have been one that I rented from the video store for sure. And I remember it vividly, just because of the kills. I loved it. It's one of those films that is just screams of the 80s, just everything about it. Kind of as well, it nods back to the original. You've got this little small town, suburban place, and like Kevin Dillon's mullet.
Yeah.
Over.
Kevin Dillon
literally taking over the joint.
Can't jump over a bridge.
The badass. Obviously, he's got to have a leather jacket, riding a motorcycle, smoking those cigarettes to the end. Every scene is like the end of the cigarette. It's like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I love this movie. Absolutely love it.
I mean, the effects, guys. Jesus Christ! I didn't think it was going to be a film like it was. I thought it was going to be really cheesy. I was expecting sort of to be not really on my bag, but I almost liken it to. It's a cross between obviously the original Blob and The Thing. Like obviously the way it moves and the tendrils that come out and all that type of stuff. But yeah, the effects in it, man, were just brutal.
Yeah, and considering you think about it, like it came out around similar time as Ghostbusters 2, and this obviously did the pink ooze thing a lot better than Ghostbusters 2. I mean, I love Ghostbusters 2. I'm not dissing it in any way, or shape, or form, but some of that moment under the sort of like town when it sort of came up was very superimposed. Where this looked fucking cool. Maybe that's because they went all practical. That makes a difference. Don't know.
And I love the like Paul, you said, the deaths. So obviously the guy you think is going to be the hero of the film is the first one to go. Well, after the homeless guy, but yeah, jeez, and the way he dies. Oh my God.
Harrowing.
Yeah.
Was his name Paul as well?
Yeah, Paul. Paul.
Good.
Yeah. And his little hand twitching on the ground.
One less Paul in the world.
Oh my word. Matt didn't even make the film, so.
Just before that, what was quite harrowing is that when the bum guy gets the bit of blob on his hand and he just tries to hack his own hand off. I always remember that when I was a kid because I was like, that is fucking gross. And I was like, he's trying to chop his own hand off. And then when the doctor comes in and they pull the sheets back, those effects are amazing. And I'll tell you something that's really good in this film that I did not appreciate when I was younger was the cinematography is fucking amazing. Like the swing shots, overhead shots, tracking shots, like literally, like it's beautifully shot.
Totally agree. Yeah. I wrote down as oozing with menace.
Ooze.
I got to say my MVP. I got 2 MVP kills. And there's a lot of good kills in this. But the pervy Scott, who basically copped the wrong feel.
Oh my God!
You know that was in the car.
Eureka Elenique.
Who?
Is that her name?
Erica
Eleniak.
Yeah.
The one who popped up in the cake.
Yeah.
Well, Baywatch. Probably more famous.
Nah, that cake scene in Under Siege with Steven Seagal is her pivotal moment.
Yeah,
that's like a formative moment, isn't it?
Well, for Paul, it's probably 20 seconds, mate. As his VHS was like, I remember when we used to play his VHS, it used to go all fuzzy on that bit because you used to pause it so much, wasn't it?
Couldn't get the video cassette out of the.
But yeah, that was great.
He deserved it though, to be honest.
He was a bit, yeah.
I loved his little bar in his boot. It was fucking amazing.
I want that car.
Yeah,
that
the basketball hoop in it and everything. I thought was brilliant.
No one gives a fuck about drink driving around there, that's for sure. And there is generally some really funny bits, like the whole kind of like pharmacy bit where he goes to buy the Trojans.
Yeah.
Condom, ribbed or normal.
Blames on his mate. Turns out to be who's the guy? Who's the guy as well? Who plays the dad?
He's pretty famous, isn't he?
He is.
Sure he is.
Yeah, he's definitely famous. He's been in loads. Is it Terrence? I can't remember his fucking name. Was he in Field of Dreams?
Yeah, he was in Field of Dreams. Yeah,
in Field of Dreams, wasn't he? But like, yeah, that whole sort of like cat and mouse, and then he turns out that that he's taken his daughter out.
Art Lafleur,
yeah.
Was in Sandlot Kids, Field of Dreams. Yep, you're right. Yeah, there's been a lot of TV stuff.
Like, what's it? Jeffrey DeMunn was in it from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's the Darabont connection, though, isn't it?
Darabont connection.
And the dude from RoboCop, Melty Man from RoboCop, was in it.
Yeah, Melty Man. Yes. Yeah. But one of the other kills I want to chat about is the fucking waitress in the phone booth. Because I was like sure she was good, like, gonna be, I don't know, a final girl, or at least like be in the mix. Oh no! Oh fucking no!
It was one of the brilliant things of this film that you just didn't know who was about to die. It was all but better off. I mean, the poor guy that's trying to clean the sink out just gets absolutely rammed into a pipe.
That was very
best kill.
Yeah, that was very sort of from It, the TV show It, with the guy folding in half and stuff. Oh my fucking word!
Sucked down the plug hole.
And any horror film which murders children, right, gets a point from me anyways.
Well, this is the thing about this movie, is that there's no holds barred, because it's like it pulls the rug from underneath your feet, because it's like the sheriff, you think he's quite a pivotal character, and you think, he's obviously going to be main bit. He's got a bit of a love interest with the woman from the diner, and then like literally he's like, I better go and see how she's doing. Actually, 11 o'clock up, she's knocking off, and you think he's going to be like quite a pivotal character, and then he's a goner. Like, obviously she's being consumed by the blob inside the telephone booth, and you see his face, don't you? Like literally wipe up against the thing, and you think, oh shit, he's dead, and it didn't even show it. It's like, and like you said, like when it moves on to the children, which I think is a great scene, the movie theater, and the fact that they're showing that movie is cool, because it kind of, again, it's like, you think it's the movie, you think it's actually in the Blob the movie, but it's not. It's like the movie being shown, which I thought was really clever.
I do like the fact that Blob's just picking them up from the back seats as well. They're like, what?
It's just fucking awesome. Like, really, really good bits in it. And yeah, then we leads on to the kids that you think, they're going to definitely get away. Nope. And that was very RoboCop-y when when the slime is pulling them down and their whole body's like melting. It's like acid. It's fucking crazy effects.
Yeah, and then the finale. There's a great use of a bazooka as well, which I was fucking very impressed that they had.
The government scientists, though, I love the government scientists all loaded with assault rifles. It's just pure 80s, isn't it?
Yeah, in the 80s, if you had the scientists throughout the whole 80s, they had to have a hazmat suit. It's just like, yep, check, tick, hazmat suit, tick, hazmat suit. And there's always got to be, that military expert that comes along with them. There's a little bit gun-ho, just thinks he's the man, but he's not the man.
Yeah, what a wanker, fucking trying to keep him down the fucking... Can't let him out, fucking twat.
I love, the one bit I do love about that, I don't know if you noticed it, is when that army militant bloke kind of like has the two kind of like hand grenades on him, and he pulls them both, and you think, oh, he's going to blow up. But then the blob just flops on him, and all you see is these two little sparks go, nothing else. It's just like he's literally done fuck all.
I did love that character though. That he's just wandered around town with these just hand grenades just flopping around his body. I thought it was brilliant. You just knew you straight away. You were like, yeah, that's not wise. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I must say, Shawnee Smith was like really good. I thought, you know, as they say, like, oh, again, like leading ladies in movies. She's pretty much the MVP in this movie.
Yeah, totally.
I thought she was really good.
Matt Dillon was just great as that sort of comic relief, non-hero type, really.
Standard, isn't it? Standard.
But there was a really funny moment with Shawnee Smith. Is like when she fell off the top of the fire thing, but it was just calamitous. It just looked like was that an accident?
Just hanging there.
Yeah. Fucking, what's going on?
You only had to move her leg one little bit.
Oh, that was fucking funny. Yeah, a lot of great fun and a lot of great special effects and stuff like that throughout this movie. It was one that cheered me right up watching this.
It's really cool.
It's really foreboding as well. Like right at the end, where you go to like the priest, the preacher,
because he was set on fire, wasn't he? There's a bit where he was set on fire, so he's got like fucking half a face, like a dodgy eye, like what the fuck, and then like I'm gonna bring on the end of the world with a little bit of pink goo in it.
Yeah, leftover goo.
It's goo.
I like the way they froze it as well. It kind of turns into those kind of jewels and stuff. It's like, yeah, we're gonna just like dump this in the ice house so it'll never come back. I do like the fact that they found out there were, because in the original, I know that all the villagers come together, don't they? And they just get loads of fire extinguishers, and they all come together and do it together.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a cool ending of the 88 version. To be honest, that would have been pretty cool, because like, you know, like the whole town coming together and fighting it. But I suppose
they were fucked.
Their set piece.
They were fucked. Without Shawnee Smith, like they didn't have a clue what they were going to do to fucking take this thing out. It was going some. It was certain doom.
Yeah, it was definitely much more of a mobile blob than the original. So yeah, I thought it was just really violent. I didn't expect it to be the character of the blob essentially be so fucking ruthless. It could easily hang around, did it? It was like, no, I'm gonna kill. I'm literally, you're dead.
They could have easily done like a comedic thing with it, like, you know, like the stuff, like that sort of thing. They could have easily done that, but they didn't. They made it really ominous. Oh, is that right word? And like foreboding and actually something that's scary. And you think about it, and you think a blob. Is that a fucking blob of goo? I'll just fucking run away from it. But this blob's got fucking arms and tentacles and fucking hides and weights, and then just fucking literally ingests you. Gross. I bet it's really painful as well.
Yeah, I looked it.
Great pick from John. Great pick.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Fucking fantastic. Legend. Right. Have we got any Matt's facts to go along with this? We must do.
Of course we have, mate. So, the partially dissolved but still alive soldier was performed by stuntman Noble Craig, a triple amputee who lost both legs, an arm, and an eye while serving in the Vietnam War. Pretty fucking mental.
Bloody hell.
Russell and Darabont didn't have a lot of rules for the blob, but they agreed the general concept of the creature was it being an inside out stomach, meaning the acid is burning, melting, and devouring almost everything it touches. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but Donovan Lecht Jr., Paul, took Shawnee Smith, Meg, obviously in the film, to his senior prom at Hollywood High. He wrote her a thank you note afterwards, which she kept for years. They later appeared together in this film. It's pretty crazy. This was released 30 years after the original version of The Blob, 1958, and had a budget estimated to be almost 80 times the original. In at about 46 minutes, the overhead shot in the phone booth where the blob explodes against Fran was accomplished by using a 3-foot phone booth model, an articulated doll of Clark, and air mortars being blasted at her. Clark said the original took full body and face live castings of her and created a life-size dummy. Then they tried shooting her blob attack in a real phone booth. It never worked effectively, though, which is why they decided to use miniatures. The use of the Triumph motorcycle was a nod to Steve McQueen, star of the original Blob. McQueen owned several Triumphs and rode them on and off screen. A year after appearing in this, Ulrika Eleniak became the July 1989 Playmate of the Month for Playboy. And the body count was at least 16. This includes 3 people in the theatre audience. The total number of people killed in the theatre is likely more.
Ooh.
So yeah, he's a killer. I think in Top Trumps he'd be a good one.
Yeah, you think you're right.
It'd be hard to kill.
Great pick, John. Really, really good pick, mate. I am so fucking chuffed that I've watched it and now I own it. That's a great addition to the collection. Awesome.
Was it? Did the version you got, was it German?
No, it was a good version.
Good times.
So rating this bad boy then. Start with Geordie Paul.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, lads. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Solid 9 from me.
Yeah, solid 9 from me. Absolutely right up there and one of my faves that we've ever done, to be honest. I knew it was going to be a classic, and Matt's got it. It's beautiful because you always see it whenever we do the pod. It's always right up there.
Great cover as well. Look
at that VHS edition. I mean, yeah, that looks fucking
on the front getting eaten, I think.
I was pleasantly surprised, guys, honestly.
Sci-fi horror at its finest.
Terror has no shape.
There we go. Ooh, I think it might be my pick.
It is indeed. Oh, God, here we go.
What have we had recently? Deliverance, Wicker Man, Cannibal Women from the Avocado Jungle of Death. Oh, my God, I still remember that one. And obviously the Blob. How can I top the Blob? Oh, my God, I got 2 in my mind. And I'm going to go with something that we kind of wanted to get our teeth in after watching In Search of Darkness Part 3. So I'm going to go for The Zero Boys, which is starring a very good friend of the podcast, Kelly Maroney. Yeah, there we go. What do you think of that, lads?
Awesome. I do want to watch this one.
It's on Arrow, so we've all got access. I've got my Arrow copy, so I'm quite excited about looking at this. I think this is going to be like a proper 80s horror movie. That's what my hopes and dreams. So there we go.
After they were dashed by the Meg 2.
So yeah, that's episode 136 done. Thanks very much for listening. And again, we apologise for if we drop any quality. We probably won't over the next couple of weeks. But we wish everyone the very best at Fright Fest. All the new movies, a massive abundance of horror that's going to be shown over the weekend. I hope everyone who goes enjoys themselves thoroughly. Anyone wants to report back and let us know how some absolute treats, let us know. That'd be fantastic. Other than that, we'll move on to episode 137, which would have been our Fright Fest special, but someone dickhead's getting married. So instead, we'll be watching The Blackening, and I've just pulled from the vault The Zero Boys. That only leaves one more thing to say. When there's no more room in hell, here's another podcast.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
You can follow us on Twitter at DrawOneLast, Instagram at DrawOneLastBreath, or pop us an email at DrawOneLastBreathPod@hotmail.com.